Could the Justice League survive the Avengers? Immediately. Immediately, we have to take off Superman and Hulk.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
So DC has Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Aquaman, Flash, Martian Manhunter, yada, 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 whatever. Avengers has Thor, Iron Man. I guess we're going off the MCU Avengers. Thor, Iron Man, Captain America. I'm not even gonna add Black Widow and Hawkeye because they would literally just be meat shields in the fight. I don't know. You guys let me know down in the comments below right now. Who do you guys think is winning, Justice League or the Avengers? When you break it down like that, I'm not gonna lie. Bro, I'm not gonna lie, dude. I think Justice League easily wins this, right? I mean, Thor is still gonna be a problem, but again, we got like Wonder Woman. I like to think she's the equivalent of female Thor, basically. I don't know. Enough talk. Let's just hop straight into this because I'll be here all day talking about this, bro. Could the Justice League survive the Avengers? It should be, could the Avengers survive the Justice League? Aye.
The concrete splits under boots that hit the ground like artillery rounds. The sky overhead isn't stormy, it's dead. A flat, chemical gray sitting over the city like a lid. The Justice League lands in the rubble of a downtown corridor, and the Avengers are already there waiting. But something's wrong. Their eyes are lit with a cold synthetic glow, like a screen left on in an empty room. Every reflex is primed. They're not fighting for anything. They're just executing a program. Someone hijacked the minds of Earth's mightiest heroes. And if the League doesn't get between them and the...
Okay, so the Avengers are turned off mentally, but are primed to like just execute attacks, I guess, perfectly. Maybe. And that might be kind of scary. I mean, when you think about it too, when they're online in the mind, right? Some of them are probably holding back constantly or holding themselves back in some sort of way, right? Or something like that. So how I look at it is like a robot, basically, literally like a robot, right? Reflexes are probably going to be faster. I think Nerd Science did this to kind of get them on par with the Justice League in a way. Maybe. And I could just be like way off, but I don't know. I'm just having like conversation. You guys let me know down in the comments below. What do you guys think?
Rest of the city right now, there's nothing left to save. So here's the real question. Not just who wins a fight, but can the Justice League absorb enough punishment from mind-controlled gods and super soldiers to break the link and pull these people back? This is Mike, your host here on Nerd Science.
We know you appreciate
because
precision.
when they're mind controlled, they're low-key stronger, you know?
Right.
Dad, can I take the call?
You think?
Like
Science. If you love breaking down pop culture with real science, hit the like button, subscribe, and get ready. We're grading every fighter on a tier of survival scale from F to S, using real physics to explain why each body holds together or doesn't.
We don't need to see
Round
Hulk
one,
and Superman,
the
though.
peak
We don't.
human limit. Captain America moves first. His steps are rigid, mechanical, no improvisation. Just the program telling his legs to close the distance and eliminate the target. Batman doesn't retreat. He holds
no hesitation too. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was really trying to get across. Like they have no more hesitation in their movements, and they're just straightforward, you know?
Center of the street and starts scanning. The first thing Bruce solves is the shield. Vibranium doesn't just resist a hit. It soaks up the energy of the impact and stores it. What that means is simple. Every punch back...
Let me tell you, Captain America's instantly knocking that John away and then hitting him in the neck with the shield or in the armor and knocking him back, and then he's gonna throw the shield at him. The shield's gonna come back to Captain America. He's gonna catch the shield while he's already running towards Batman, right? And as soon as he catches the shield, he's gonna boom, knock him out. Like, that would be an instant KO. I feel like Cap would really do something like that on mind control, no?
Batman throws at that disc.
Like, no
every
hesitation,
batarang, every
just
explosive does
coming for
nothing
you,
but
like.
charge it. Blunt force is off the table. he'd just be loading Cap's next throw. So, Batman goes sideways. He pulls 2 sonic emitters from his belt and detonates them at once. The point isn't to hurt Rogers. It's to overload the one system the super soldier serum never armored: the nervous system. The serum gave Steve Rogers peak human conditioning, not a different kind of body. His ears, his balance, his eyesight are all still ordinary biology, and the right frequency scrambles all 3. Cap.
In our book, he might have gotten a KO. If Batman decided to close distance with Cap, I mean, Batman's a monster, but I feel like Cap with the shield, and mind controlled is kind of scary, low key. Like, you don't want to get hit by it. And I'm sure Batman's gotten hit with worse, but consistently and with precision, you know, I mean, Cap can be deadly.
Pushes through it because, of course, he does. He releases the shield at a shallow angle, bounces it off a collapsed steel beam, and curls it around the left side of Batman's cowl. The exact spot the armor doesn't fully cover. The energy the shield stored from Batman's own attacks releases on impact.
Yeah, sit down, see?
Bounces it off a collapsed steel beam and curls it around the left side of Batman's cowl. The exact spot the armor doesn't fully cover. The energy the shield stored from Batman's own attacks releases on impact. 2 ribs crack. Bruce stays on his feet, but now every breath costs him. Batman switches to a magnetic grapple, pulls the shield clean out of the air, and drives a nerve strike into the cluster of nerves at Rogers' shoulder. The arm goes dead from the shoulder down. Cap can't lift it. He's disarmed. Batman reaches for an EMP charge to fry the control chip at the base of Rogers' neck. And that's where this round ends. Tier of survival, Captain America gets a C. His conditioning is extraordinary, but without the shield and with one arm down, the body is still just a body. Batman gets a B. He adapted inside the fight, found the chip, and was 3 seconds from ending the whole thing clean. The ground erupts beneath him before he can plant the charge. A repulsor blast comes in from above, red and gold, and Batman is already moving. Round 2.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm still thinking about how Batman caught the shield to the face and cracked 2 ribs. How you get hit in the face with a vibranium shield and crack 2 ribs? maybe it wasn't. Because I thought he said like the cow. He got hit in the cow, which is the mask, right? So feel free if I'm wrong, definitely correct me, please. But yeah, that's insane, I guess. Mind control Captain America is so tapped in, he can choose which body part he's gonna hit, but choose which bones he's gonna break when the shield collides with the person's body. Like, what? That would be
force. Tony Stark's HUD carries the same synthetic structure running through all of them, and it's already locked Batman as a priority target. The Mark Armor's targeting system tracks and fires in single-digit milliseconds. That's genuinely fast for any machine. Against Barry Allen, it doesn't matter. Barry moves in microseconds, roughly 1,000 times faster than Tony's sensors can physically register. The suit never sees him coming. By the time the targeting array catches a blip at the edge of its feed, Flash has already phased up through the floor and started running friction passes along the armor's joints. He isn't punching, he's rubbing his hands across the surface.
Let's be honest, like, a fight with Iron Man and the Flash dismantles Iron Man in seconds. Not even probably in a millisecond. Iron Man still has a lot of tricks up his sleeve. He does. It's funny because like it's always just gonna come down to Thor and Hulk. It really is. I feel like DC's got everybody else ready to go against Thor and Hulk. Like, that would be insane, actually. You should do that.
Servos fast enough to melt them with heat alone. 30 seconds of this, and the suit is a sealed metal box. Tony Stark is alive inside it and going nowhere. Tier of survival, Iron Man gets an F. The suit is the man, and the suit is gone. Thor hits the ground from above like a bomb.
Sea Dance
Like that
2.0
scene
is
in
now on
Infinity
Artlist,
War
and you can get
we all
precisely
caught
what you
chills
want.
from. Oh my god, I love that scene, dude. Oh, that was so fire.
He doesn't try to track the Flash. Even mind-controlled, he's too smart for that. He drives Mjolnir into the street and pulls every loose electron in the air into one discharge in every direction at once. The whole area turns to plasma. There's no lane to run through, no angle that isn't burning at several thousand degrees. Barry can phase through the first instant of it, but sustained heat at that scale fries his link to the Speed Force, and his legs buckle. Tier of survival, the Flash gets an A. Phasing lets him survive a burst that would vaporize anything else on that street, but plasma that dense eventually overwhelms even him. He's on one knee, not dead, not moving. Thor raises Mjolnir. Round 3, Divine Physiology. Wonder Woman doesn't hesitate. She reads Thor's body before Mjolnir finishes its arc, plants herself between the hammer and the Flash, and crosses her bracers at the exact moment of impact. The shockwave doesn't just knock things over. It folds the steel supports of the arena like paper, and the walls on either side of the street peel apart and fall. Diana doesn't move. She takes the full force through her bracers and channels it down through her stance into the ground. Mjolnir is forged from Uru, an enchanted Asgardian metal denser than anything found on Earth, and the swing behind it carries the pull of an entire storm. Diana holding that ground isn't stubbornness. It's divine physiology doing exactly what it was built for, but she sees the problem with what comes next. Hitting an Asgardian does almost nothing. Thor heals faster than most injuries can stack up. Trade hammer blows with him, and she's fighting a body that repairs itself faster than she can break it. So she draws the sword and switches from blunt force to a blade. A cut forces the body to close a wound in sequence, and even fast healing has to follow that sequence. A blade gets damage in before healing catches up. The problem is Thor is not slow. He's been fighting for over 1,000 years, and his Asgardian frame means his speed is heavy. Mass moving fast, which is a different kind of problem to solve than speed alone. So Diana doesn't match his force. She lets his swings carry past her and nudges his wrists and elbows, turning his own momentum against his balance. A big body committing everything to a swing has the most to lose when that swing hits nothing. She gets the lasso of truth around his left forearm mid-redirect, and this is where the fight turns strange. The lasso doesn't only compel honesty. Against a mind under outside control, it forces the real person up against the thing overriding them. You can see it in Thor's face for about 2 seconds. The synthetic glow flickers. Something underneath strains against the signal. Then he drives a point-blank bolt of lightning straight out of his own body into her chest. No summoning, no distance, no time to react. She hits the rubble 30 feet back, armor smoking. Tier of survival, Thor and Wonder Woman both get an S. He wins the exchange. The point-blank discharge is the one thing she can't answer. But she fought a 1,000-year-old war god to a standstill on technique, took Mjolnir head-on without moving, and is the only fighter in this gauntlet who interrupted the mind control signal even for 2 seconds. That detail matters more than it looks right now. These two are peers, and the rating has to say so. The lasso is still around Thor's arm. He looks down at it, and the floor beneath him cracks open. Round 4.
I was gonna say, like, 1,000 years of fighting. We live how many years here, right? We live how many years here? Like 100. If we're lucky. I'm gonna be here till like 150, maybe 120. You know what I mean? Somewhere upper. I'd even go for a cool 200.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
For real, you know what I mean?
Nope.
Skills all acquired over 1,000 years. Like, on top of having divine power. Yeah, insane.
Or hard light versus gamma regeneration. A green hand the size of a car door comes up through the fracture first, then a shoulder. Then the Hulk hauls himself out of whatever sublevel the shockwave dropped
already
him
know
into
he
and
gets an
locks
A,
onto
right?
Wonder Woman across the rubble.
For
Hal
sure.
Jordan gets between them before that look becomes movement. He doesn't try to cage him. Caging gamma physiology is a fool's errand, and Hal knows it. The Hulk's strength isn't a fixed number. It climbs with every pound of resistance it meets. So, a containment sphere just becomes something for him to grow strong enough to break. A Green Lantern ring builds whatever the wearer can picture, limited only by willpower, and Hal Jordan is one of the best ever to carry one, so he plays it smart. First construct, a catapult arm to fling the Hulk clean out of the city. Second, a sealed dome to drop over him from above. Third, a flat, hard, light hand to pin him with no surface to push off. Every one of them is the right idea. None of them lands. Here's what most fights get wrong about the Hulk. The rage doesn't only crank his strength, it cranks his speed. The angrier he gets, the faster he moves. And a ring construct isn't instant. It costs Hal about a quarter second of focus to build each one. And the Hulk is faster at the end of every exchange than he was at the start. The catapult forms half a beat late and grabs nothing. The dome clips an empty patch of street. By the third construct, the Hulk has eaten the 40 feet between them.
This man Hulk been in a bad dream this whole fight because he not once reached Green Lantern, bro. Like, not once. Look.
Angrier he gets, the faster he moves. And a
Not
ring
once.
construct isn't instant. It costs Hal about a quarter second of focus to build each one.
He's
And
like
the Hulk
in
is
one of those
faster
dreams where
at the end
you're
of
trying to
every
run away, but you
exchange than he
can't
was
like
at the
run
start.
away,
The
but
catapult
it's like
forms
opposite.
half
Like,
a beat late and
he's trying to
grabs
chase
nothing.
after Hulk.
The
He's
dome
trying to
clips
chase
an
after
empty
Green
patch of
Lantern,
street.
but,
By the third
yeah.
construct, the
He
Hulk
can't
has
get him.
eaten the 40 feet between them, and Hal is building a wall of body length too close to use it. The fist comes through before the wall finishes. The feedback rips back through the ring, and Hal's shoulder dislocates with a sound like a snapping branch. Tier of survival, Green Lantern gets a B. He made every correct read in this fight and lost anyway. Because the Hulk doesn't just outpower his counters, he outpaces them. The Hulk gets an S, and it isn't close.
course.
Both fists go up. Hal
Not
can't lift his
surprised.
arm to rebuild the construct. Then the skyline behind the Hulk turns into a red and blue streak, moving at Mach
Yeah.
With
yeah.
base force
Here's where it
becomes
just never
your
ends.
website.
10. Round 5. The solar battery. Superman doesn't announce himself. The Hulk is mid-swing when something hits him from the left hard enough to skid him 40 feet across broken asphalt.
Yo, what's
And
up
when
with
the
the
dust
yo?
on fire.
This is probably the most goofiest looking like generated drum we've ever seen. Okay, because why is Hulk sleigh riding backwards through the concrete? Like,
The solar battery. Superman doesn't announce himself. The Hulk is mid-swing when something hits him from the left hard enough to skid him 40 feet across
Damn,
broken
Superman.
asphalt. And when the dust clears, Clark is standing between Hal Jordan and the Hulk with his feet set. A Kryptonian under a yellow sun works like a battery. His cells store sunlight and convert it into everything at once. Strength, speed, durability, heat vision. Clark tilts his face up for 2 seconds, pulling what light he can through the chemical gray, topping off every cell. Thor throws Mjolnir first. The hammer crosses the gap in under a second. Clark catches it left-handed, and the hammer lets him. Because the same crisis that scrambled these minds has, for one moment, found him worthy. Lets the
Yeah.
spin bleed out of it, and sets it
I
down.
feel like the hammer would let Superman hold it, like for sure. For sure, the hammer is definitely letting Superman hold it. No way it doesn't. No way it doesn't.
Down on the concrete like a coffee cup. Cap's shield comes off a ricochet aimed at the back of his skull. He plucks it out of the air without turning around. Then, the Hulk arrives. Both fists land, full gamma output, square into Superman's sternum. The impact punches the air around him into a vacuum for a quarter of a second. Clark doesn't move. Kryptonian cells under a full solar charge harden against a hit instead of giving way. So the Force has nowhere to go but back into the Hulk's own knuckles. Clark grabs him by the collar and launches straight up. Through the gray, through the clouds, into the upper edge of the atmosphere where the air thins to nothing. The Hulk's strength needs something to rage against. Up there, there's nothing. His heart rate falls. The green drains out of him. And somewhere in that thin, cold air, the Hulk becomes Bruce Banner again. Clark catches the unconscious Banner on the way down and is back on the ground in under 4 seconds. Wonder Woman's read from earlier is the key now. The real person is still in there under the override, which means the thing controlling them is hardware, not the mind. So Clark doesn't fight him. He drops his vision to microscopic range and moves through them one by one. Banner, Thor, Captain America, and Stark. Burning out the control chip at the base of each skull with a thread of heat so fine it doesn't break skin. Steve Rogers drops to one knee, chest heaving, and looks at his hands like he doesn't recognize them. Tier of survival? The Avengers get a B for the coordination they showed, even with no free will. Superman gets an S, and it's the only rating that fits. Clark reaches down and pulls Steve Rogers.
Yeah, what's crazy is, like, remember how I was saying, like, in the beginning, without their free will, they probably would just be way more aggressive and just better overall. I think that's true, like, low-key, right? It makes sense, right? I don't know. I just think them being mind controlled, like, and taking one-on-one fights with each of the league members, I think some of them would be more on par, you know, kind of.
Rogers to his feet. Neither of them says anything. The Avengers look up at the dead gray sky with the specific expression of people who just woke up inside a nightmare they didn't choose. Then the shadow arrives. Something above the cloud layer blots out what's left of the light, and every person in that rubble, gods, soldiers, billionaires, aliens, goes very still. Both teams turn to face the same direction. If you want to see what happens when the Justice League and the Avengers fight together against whatever just blocked out the sun, subscribe and watch part 2.
Yo.
That's where the real damage starts.
Yo, we need part 2. Hold up. Let me know what you guys thought about this down in the comments below. Did the Justice League survive the Avengers? The ending made it even better because, like, now I'm looking forward to the Justice League and the Avengers fighting together, which is even more exciting. You know what I mean? Fighting against whatever they're fighting up against. I hope it's something broken as like the Beyonder or something, like, you know what I mean? That would be crazy. Obviously, they would all die instantly, but it would still be fun. Somebody crazy, or it might be another universe of characters or something. I don't know. Hit that like button, hit that sub button if you haven't already. That'll do, boys. That'll do.